Well, hello again, this is Hero. Well, sadly, I have another example of tragedy. Okay, this one happened about half a year ago also. This is a Foemina juniper. Foemina juniper, common name, Needle Juniper. I'm definitely wearing my double gloves today. But, well, what happened was I had this clump of ornamental grass down here. That thing was completely dead, and the weeds looked really sad. So I was well, I don't panic anymore because this kind of stuff happens to me often enough. But anyway, it was definitely stressed out. But I think this one here, although you see a lot of this dead, once I remove it, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. So let's go ahead and remove it. See, as I flick these off, there's plenty of green down below. That's a good sign. So I think because Foemina tend to be a very hardy juniper. Of course, you don't see it on the market anymore because it's a nasty devil, and it's not much for landscape use unless you want like a barbed wire like fence or barrier. It's just a painful, and it doesn't have what you call a great natural shape. So, but because it was made famous by John Naka, it still exists in the bonsai circle, but the chance of you finding it in the nursery is probably slim now. But those of you that can propagate, these are easy to propagate. Well, if this works out, it might be a very short chapter. Well, because there's so much green in here, we could actually get it back to style. But let me go ahead and remove as much of this obviously dead things. But like I said, 6 months I've been sitting on this in a well-protected area. And every time I say well-protected area, it's my area where things like this or something just newly transplanted, and it's well protected with 80%. I don't think it was the 60. I think it's the 80% shade and covered in all sides so you can't get the heavy wind or the extreme sun peeking in. So anyway, yeah, this one here, I think, well, some of these need to go, right? Because they have grown. So if I start shaping this into the green, maybe we'll get it looking better. So anyway, let me go ahead and study this and see what we're going to do with this one here. So like I was saying, this is the Foemina juniper, or known as Needle Juniper. Oh, hey, wait a minute, look at that. The rake side works even better yet. You know, I don't think, not many people cover subject of failure. Actually, it's not a failure, but a tragedy. See? So now, if I go and prune some of this, then we're back to where we should be. So let me get back to you. Okay, here we have enough greenery. If we take these, well, these were getting too long to start with, so I'll get rid of those, right? And then much too long. Let's cut it back. So maybe this was not as bad as it could have been. Well, it has something to do with timing of me finding it being damaged. If it went another day without water, it could be more dead. See, so what I'm doing is stuff that needed to be pruned anyway. And since we found that the rake works well, let's go in here and use the rake to rake out the dead. Yeah, like this one here, it looked dead, but there's a live green here, so we'll go ahead and leave that. Okay, this level here, do the same thing. These were just getting too tall anyway, so we'll just cut it back to where it should be. And take the rake. Seems like we find new technique all the time. So you can see that things aren't so bad after all. In these, we just cut off the tips. Then we don't need these on the trunk. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, let's try this level. See all this that's going up? We didn't need that. We more or less want it flat. These. Well, so evidently what happened was before it went into this unfortunate situation, it needed pruning. But see, we just take off the tips like this. Never know that it was all stressed out for. Okay, I'm making progress. Up to the apex, right? Okay, so for stressed out plant, this one is looking pretty good. You barely know that it was near death. Definitely our compliment grass is dead. You can't see any sign of it at all. But so I guess another day of dryness, it might be a different outcome. But like I was saying, this one is a Foemina juniper, so it tends to be one of the toughest and nastiest to work with. So anyway, I guess let me turn this around and what I plan to do next year. This is where the clump ornamental grass used to be. And it was looking nice, kind of hanging over the rock and things like that. But it's gone now. So what I plan to do next year is to take this out of the container and rework the roots, get any remnants of the ornamental grass out of there. Also, what I wanted to do was, I think you've seen me do it before on other projects, take these branches and get them down to our basic line. It's kind of getting clumpy in here. It's not well defined, so I want to go in and make sure that each branch has a great line, and the branches, and then the branches off the branches. Okay, so, but that's next year, probably March-ish. I say ish because, hey, I could make all the ideas, and then a lot of times it doesn't work because of scheduling. But I think that's what I wanted to do. Is go through this. This one has a very nice shape, has the movement and taper. So anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye for now. This was another of the tragedy series. Hopefully I don't get to do a lot of this, but I thought, not a whole lot of people tell you about the bad things that happen to them, right? But hey, bad things happen all the time. Well, not all the time, but happens, and you got to learn to deal with it. And one of the things you have to do is, after your initial panic, just calm down and put it away in a well-protected area for 6 months, sometime even a year. And then hopefully, you'll have a second chance. So this is Harold saying goodbye. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter. This has been the Foemina juniper that got dried out.